Imagine being the one to find real-life buried treasure. You'd be a hero to archaeologists across the globe. And if you're anything like Indiana Jones, you'd make sure that treasure is safely secure in a museum. But if you're not like Dr. Jones, oh baby, you may just keep that treasure for yourself and be worth millions upon millions of dollars. Which brings us to the subject of today's video. What are some real-life treasures out there right now that you could find? And just how much would you be worth after digging them up? Get ready to follow the clues as we show you these ancient riches that, if found, would make you one of the richest. We mentioned everyone's favorite archaeologist / part-time professor Indiana Jones, so we feel it's only appropriate to start off with arguably his most famous find in the 1981 smash hit film Raiders of the Lost Ark, a movie that grossed $389.9 million at the box office. The legendary item in question is, of course, the Ark of the Covenant. But what do we know about the real Ark of the Covenant? Where do we think it could be? And how much would it be worth? Check this out. Most of what we know about the Ark of the Covenant comes from the Bible. Makes sense, right? From there, we know that this was the legendary artifact that housed the tablets engraved with the Ten Commandments that were originally given to Moses. But just where is the Ark now? Legend has it that the Ark was kept in a temple built by King Solomon, which sometimes also goes by the name the First Temple. But here's where things get muddy. The first temple was destroyed in 587 BC after a Babylonian army led by King Nebuchadnezzar II attacked and eventually conquered Jerusalem. So, since 587 BC, the Ark has been lost. No one knows if it's still intact or if it has been moved, or heck, maybe it's in a giant warehouse somewhere, like at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. As far as price goes, well, to put it bluntly, the Ark is literally priceless. This is an ancient holy artifact. No amount of money would be high enough to just simply buy it. But we don't want to leave you empty-handed here. We do have the price of the movie prop from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Believe it or not, according to Antiques Roadshow, the famous gold-adorned movie prop is worth $250,000. Not too bad for arguably the most famous depiction of the Ark. Up next, we'd like to talk about the crown jewels of Ireland. These beautiful pieces of jewelry were truly a sight to behold, when we knew where they were, that is. In 1907, they were stolen from Dublin Castle. Just how did the thief get away with it? Well, it seems that at the time of the robbery, there was some pretty lax security on the premises, and someone went ahead and took advantage of that. Just who stole them? To this day, no one knows for sure. It's suspected that Francis Shackleton, brother of the famous explorer Ernest Shackleton, is the culprit behind the crime. But the truth is, he's just one suspect of many. We may never actually know who did it. But just how much are these jewels worth? How much would you walk away with if you just happen to stumble upon the iconic crown jewels of Ireland? Well, considering that the jewelry is literally a jeweled star of the Order of St. Patrick and a diamond brooch and 5 gold collars, you can bet that this piece of history is going to be worth a lot. In total, it's comprised of 394 stones taken from Queen Charlotte's jewelry and an Order of the Bath badge. And it also held rupees from a Mughal emperor. To top it all off, it housed precious stones from a sultan of Turkey. Altogether, it's estimated that the jewelry is worth $20 million. But don't get too excited. Many have tried to solve this caper and have failed. And to this day, it's still the greatest mystery in all of Ireland. Ever hear of the lost treasures of Lima? No? Well, do we have a tale for you? In the 1800s, the Catholic Church had amassed some rather incredible treasures, including 2 solid gold life-sized statues of the Virgin Mary and quite a few jeweled artifacts. They had been housed in Lima, Peru. But when war found its way to Lima's borders, the decision was made to ship the valuables to Mexico. The captain, William Thompson, at first was happy to deliver the treasures to their destination. But the call of the gold corrupted him, and he and his crew took out all the priests and passengers on the ship. Now, as a ship of pirates, Captain Thompson buried the treasure on Cocos Island. Thompson was then captured and was ordered to reveal the location of the treasure. But in true pirate fashion, once he was back on Cocos Island, he escaped. and neither he nor the treasure was ever heard of again. Phew, what a tale! And it certainly has grabbed the attention of adventurers from across the globe looking for gold. But it's been 200 years and nothing has been found. And today, it's thought that Captain Thompson lied about Cocos Island being the real location of the treasure. If you happen to come across the legendary treasure of Lima, you would have found $60 million worth of golden statues. Well, what are you waiting for? Head on down to Peru, get out that shovel, and maybe bring a metal detector? If you're a fan of ancient samurai swords, then our next treasure is definitely for you. It's time you learned about the one-of-a-kind Honjo Masamune, one of the finest blades ever produced, and which was crafted by Honjo Masamune, considered the greatest swordsmith who ever lived. The sword received its name after it was taken by Honjo Shigenaga after successfully winning a battle in the 16th century. After that, Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of Japan, was its new owner. After winning many wars in the late 16th century. It stayed in the Tokugawa family until the end of World War II, when during the American occupation of Japan, it was turned over to American authorities. And that's the last anyone heard of the sword. Was it destroyed? Was it taken back to America? Who knows? To make things even harder, Masamune never signed his work. But if this sword was found, oh boy, would you have come across the find of the century. Price-wise, it's hard to say exactly how much a Honjo Masamune would be worth. Ancient Japanese swords can go for as much as $100,000. So if we take into account that this sword has such a rich history, it would certainly be worth more. We do know the price of the most expensive blade ever, the 18th century Boteng saber. It was sold for $7.7 million in 2008. So would the Honjo Masamune go for more? Who knows? Better start looking for it. Lastly, we're going to talk about the secret treasure of the Knights Templar. Don't know who the Knights Templar are? Get this, they were a rich and powerful Christian military way back in medieval times. For over 200 years, the Templar collected gold, silver, and all kinds of valuables. They got so much dough that King Philip IV of France got jealous and decided in 1307 that he deserved that treasure. He sent out an army to destroy the Templar, but they escaped and took their massive fortune with them. What does this mean for all that gold? Well, it means that no one knows where it is. Some say it may be hidden off the coast of Nova Scotia, but considering it's been missing since the 14th century, who knows for sure? If you found it though, oh, you'd be very happy indeed. It's estimated to be worth over $1 billion. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Okay, you good? Good, it's time to head up to Nova Scotia. Hey, before we go, we want to leave you with this. Buried treasures that are thought to be lost forever do actually get found. The legendary Forest Fen's treasure is one such example. It was missing for over 10 years until it was found in the Rocky Mountains. This was a treasure that was worth $2 million and was hidden by a millionaire art dealer named Forest Fen. His clues? Only a map and a poem. Looks like that was enough though. We'll see you next time, right here on The Richest.